At the end of every year, the National Climatic Data Center, or NCDC, issues a report on the most expensive weather events of the past 12 months in the United States, focusing on those that caused at least $1 billion in damage. And by that measure, last year was record-setting. Here's a look at the number of billion-dollar weather disasters per year in the U.S. since 1980, when NCDC started keeping these statistics. Last year, there were 12, the most of any year. The previous high was 9 in 2008. Now here's the damages per year from those disasters in billions of dollars, the black line. About $50 billion last year is fourth, behind 2005, the year of Katrina, 1988, when there was an extraordinary heat wave and drought, and 2008, which had Hurricane Ike. By the way, these are adjusted for inflation, so it's fair to compare years. The billion-dollar disasters in 2011 included 1 blizzard, 6 tornado outbreaks, a drought, a hurricane, 2 flooding events, and a series of wildfires. Each disaster affected multiple states. Here's the number that affected each state individually. Now, this can be a bit deceptive because a state such as Texas would tend to have more simply because it's bigger, but this does give a general sense for where the damage was focused, mainly in the central and southern plains and southeast, mostly from the tornado and flooding events. The far west, northern New England, and Florida were unaffected. Now here's a quick summary of last year's billion-dollar disasters. The first of the year was the Groundhog Day blizzard that brought Chicago to a standstill. There were 4 tornado outbreaks in April, totaling more than 600 twisters, including the one that went through Tuscaloosa. An outbreak in May produced 180 tornadoes, including the EF5 that leveled much of Joplin, Missouri, the single deadliest tornado in the U.S. since 1947 and the costliest in U.S. history. In late spring and early summer, heavy rain plus the melting of a healthy snowpack produced record flooding on parts of the Missouri and Mississippi rivers, while a drought and heat wave centered in Texas peaked in summer and caused $10 billion in agricultural loss, followed by wildfires that scorched over 3 million acres of the Lone Star State. Hurricane Irene was the last billion-dollar storm. Its winds knocked out power to more than 7 million customers from North Carolina to New England. Its rains produced extensive flood damage from New Jersey to Vermont. Certainly the number of billion-dollar disasters last year was exceptional, and I've even seen a documentary describing 2011 as the year the Earth went wild. This magazine cover also expresses that idea, but notice that this is Life magazine, which isn't published anymore. This was actually a cover from 1993, when the previous 12 months had included historic weather disasters, such as Hurricane Andrew and the so-called Storm of the Century in March of that year. Just goes to show you that, at least to some extent, this isn't the first time that there's been a sense that the weather has been unusually extreme lately. Fred is back with the extended forecast next.